I got your asses right. Yeah. How you been, brothers and sisters of light and dark? Welcome to my page. My page is my common sense. I try to keep it down under the nitty gritty under 10 minutes. And if it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very important. And not important to liberals, libertars, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT, people who are bullies, people who are sensitive, people who are NPCs, that's non playable characters. They're the same as EDBs, emotional douchebags. These videos are not for you. I didn't ask for a lot of subscribers or likes. I just basically go on this common sense, like Mark Twain and John D. Okay. But of course, some things may seem like common sense, but it's really not common sense. But I guess everything is subjective then, is it? Okay. To me, 1 plus 1 does not always equal to 2. Okay, so especially when you're thinking about other dimensions, times, and spaces. There, 1 plus 1 can equal a plus sign. It could be a lesser sign. It could be an 11, depending on the mathematical equations. But mathematics, to me, is not the universal language of the law. Okay. Also, this pillow, okay, see here, may be an illusion, but I feel it as real. It says eat, game, and sleep and repeat. Eat, game, sleep, and repeat. That's what all of the smart people are doing in the world. Okay, they're doing something meticulous in their life to keep themselves occupied, not procreating randomly with strangers. But of course, that's what this video is about. This video is about to be why we have overpopulation. Now, the first thing I want to understand is that if you want to know what overpopulation is, how do you know we are overpopulated? Okay. How do you know we're overpopulated? You got to really be careful with that. To me, overpopulation is like, when I went to Africa or if you go to China, when it's like right next to each other, everybody's like hitting arms and shit. But I'm going to tell you the reason why we have overpopulation. From my perspective, overpopulation is that if you go into a train or just crowded people, the more overpopulation there is in the earth, the more parasitic human beings become. Okay, they are childlike. The human race is a childlike race. I'm a different species because I don't do what everybody else does because I'm eccentric and I'm a schizo-affective. Okay, and my Holy Spirit has taught me this when I was younger. Though I'm not delusional, it's just the answers are already within yourself as God. So I don't really believe in a lot of fairy tales and delusions of grandeurs, just like everybody else does. I don't believe in that. But the main reason why we have overpopulation is education. You know that's a fact. Discipline is missing in society. And as a matter of fact, from I can recall, in America back in the 1940s, there was a study done on this, but I don't mark my words here. That they already found that answer a long time ago. Okay, when basically are people who are undisciplined and lacks the education and they do what they want to do, that causes, as a matter of fact, between the 1950s and 60s in America, it was called the Golden Age, right? Where everything was about, two parents working. The woman had her job at the home and the man was basically going out to work. But as it went on and to be about because of the CIA, the government who wants to capitalize on the chaos, okay, which is called Project Chaos, look it up yourself. You think I'm joking. And Gloria Steinem, which was enticed by a black women in particular, to free everybody from this containment unit because they don't want to be spiritual no more. Let me tell you something. I know I'm be going off the tangent here in the side here. When you are truly religion, you are disciplined. Because most people don't follow the Bible. No, most people don't follow the Quran. Did you know that? So religion was supposed to be a great evil for a greater good, even though it is all a philosophy to keep us in check. Nobody follows religion. Okay, 80% of people don't follow religion. So now we gotta go on intellectual prowess. Now we gotta go on and see who's more disciplined. And those people who have more discipline in their life usually are more successful at having children and staying in relationships. But that's not always the case though. Because people think with their head downstairs between their legs rather than thinking with their heads upstairs. It is far better to be a 40-year-old virgin, which is mostly going to be a male, than a woman, okay, who's 40 years old, because her life is going to be shot because she made the wrong choices to sleep with the wrong men. And 9 times out of 10, the alpha father is not there. And as I said before, alpha fathers are usually not in the house by 80%. That's all across the board. That's almost everywhere in the world, because I'm like, if I go to Africa, and I know there's supposed to be a lot of niggas up there, okay, Negus, Ethiopian king, I know what it means. You got to have people who are not being so populated everywhere. I guess I can think small crowds here and there, but the countries to me that are overpopulated are basically China and Africa. Okay, because they be fucking like with their heads cut off and shit. Okay, and then there's the women who are not trained or not being overprotected by the alpha fathers, which it's supposed to be. And there should be some laws into place, but I'm pretty sure that shit happened in America until we got people who believe that overpopulation can bring a lot more money to the pockets. Okay, so it really happened. It really started with Abraham Lincoln. I'm going off the side of the topic, I know. But Abraham Lincoln caused the modern day slave, okay, when he freed the slaves, okay. Now, I'm not saying slavery is good at all, but people have their uses. And it was a lot more highly educated African Americans in America, born in America, than all across the world, okay, all right? All right, so I know I said that. Some people may want to argue with me about that. There are so many more African Americans who are smarter than the rest of the world. So if you're African American and you're into politics, you should go like Larry Elder or Candace Owens. You should go into those other countries and start your little regimen there if you can actually have a dual citizenship, if you can. But I know that would probably be pretty difficult, and they'll probably assassinate you because they're still living in the Boondocks era. Okay. People want to procreate without the cap. They don't think with the cap here. They think without the cap. And those people who think without the cap are destroying society. I remember I was looking on this hillbilly, hunky, redneck truck. In the back of the truck, it said, because I knew he was a hillbilly because all those little symbols and shit he had. And it said that if you can't afford it, don't drop it, okay? Some shit like that. And that's it. That shit make a lot of sense, though. That makes a lot of sense. At least, even if you don't have a lot of money in a sense, at least have the intellectual prowess not to take advantage of the government. Because when you take advantage of the government, that is more a feminine aspect. And if you're taking advantage of the government, you're more on the beta male construct, okay? Or the beta alpha male construct. Alphas don't do such a thing. Like me, for example, I have special abilities which the government pays me for my services. So I work by doing different things so they can help me in my situation. But you may call it a mental illness, but it's really not, because they're using me. MK Ultra and shit like that. You don't believe none of that stuff? You don't believe that they may be talking to people through their mind's eye? But your mind's too close for that. But that's another subject for another day. Some people are paid to do a service. And I do a service for the people. I don't really sit around and parasite off the earth, because I don't like that. I do not like feeding off of handouts. I really don't like that. But other than that, sometimes I'm caught in a rock and a hard place, and some people who actually care want me to live, okay? So other than that, I believe that the system is in a good place so it can evolve much better, so people can be more educated. But then there's those people who choose to be homeless, okay? They can't be the parasites. And they're probably pretty gifted, but they're being neglected in society. So how in the world, the conundrum is there, though. But there's a lot of people who have very great skills who are homeless. But they just didn't know where to look, or probably didn't find someone to care about them. But anyway, I digress here. So now you understand the real reason why we have overpopulation, because of lack of discipline and lack of education. And as I said before, in America, between the 1950s and 60s, it was called the Golden Era, which was predominantly mostly white people, running the streets, and there was still some slavery and segregation and shit going on. And then you have to understand that there are people who love capitalism, okay, and the greedy, which causes chaos amongst the people, which basically you may consider them the Illuminati, okay, if you want to. Because me, I'm a sadist. I don't care when anything happens. As long as I'm okay, I won't commit seppuku and shit and see if I'm worthless or not. Because I lived in the streets for at least about 2 years myself, on and off in other people's houses and stuff, and they helped me because I have potential and gifts. Okay, but if you check my bio down below, my credentials down below, you'll know how special I am. I talk to tons of people and stuff, and I'm a great conversationalist. This is the reason why I'm still living. Great personality I am, but I gotta stay away from most people, because most people can be heinous. They could do some heinous stuff. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. Hope you learned something in this video, because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. I'm also a comedian too. I'm about to start my these another 7 because I already got like 2 strikes. I told you, YouTube looking for shit. They looking for shit when somebody reports your. I think they should take away the report button unless somebody's defaming your character. You know, if you just put defaming character or you're not talking about nothing terrorist, I think it should be very limited. And then go down the list, because then you tell the reason why you have that list, because there are some people who take advantage. I think it's evolved, but then just it's getting too evolved because there are sensitive people on the internet, and I think you should just ignore sensitive people, because when you put yourself out there, you have to accept anything that goes along. Okay, you have to accept it. Okay, and especially if you're not popular and stuff, because I know nobody won't see my face unless they want to come to me for some problems. If they want some smoke, I got it. Okay. But no matter what anybody says about you negative, that's not true, and they don't hear one side of the story. Understand this. Most people are uneducated. 80% of the people are uneducated. Out of all of the people in the human world, there's probably roughly 20% that are highly intelligent. That keeps this world in the balance. Okay? And then they feed that 11%, 20%, or even to 11%, get the most of the money in the world. Okay? But other than that, that's all you guys say. I hope you learned something in this video. I'm going to post it on my YouTube. I didn't say nothing wrong here. And peace.